Hey guys, it's Brendan Borman back for another 270 video. Tonight is an exciting stream. I have the man, the myth, the legend, Javier Rodriguez joining us. How's it going, Javi?
How's it going, Brendan? Good to be here.
Pretty good. As you can see my backdrop, I am still here at work, but
Nice.
I'm off the clock. So I waited like a good boy until it was time to go home, and here we are recording this video. So this is a very special stream. We're going to be talking about the Rio Honda League White House playoffs, which is starting this evening, actually. So I'm going to talk about some predictions, talk about the kind of where this season has brought us to tonight, where we are starting with the multiplayer matches. But before we get into all that, in one or two sentences, what are your post-election thoughts?
Oh my goodness. One or two sentences.
One or two sentences.
Okay.
It's just like breathe.
Okay. I'd say Biden underperformed due to the polling. Like he underperformed if you take polls into account, because Biden was heavily favored in the polls, and this mail-in vote fraud is going to be the new Russiagate for 4 years.
Yeah, we'll see. Do you think it's over? Yes.
I think it's over. Biden. It's Biden. Because as a Bernie supporter myself, I know what it's like to be the loser and then still try to be like, okay, this is how we could still win. We got the faithless electors that could still elect Bernie Sanders, or he could still win. You'd be president this way. Like I've gone through it all myself, so it feels familiar when I see Trump supporters going through it, and I know how rough it is, because it's terrible losing to a guy that could barely even.
I know, right? But no, that's okay. But no, I appreciate your thoughts, because we actually haven't had a chance to talk since then. And I know we've been super crazy busy. Like I work at a college, and our college is going virtual, so that's a process.
Yeah.
The election plus, just day-to-day things. So I appreciate talking to you.
I know this is for the RHL, but definitely later on we could talk about the election in more depth and detail.
Yeah. For sure. So, the whole point, and I thank you guys so much for tuning this video, is the Rio Honda League is the premier 270 league right now in the lounge, and it is commissioned by Javier. So I will let Javier kind of talk about the league. I know there are some co-commissioners. There's a White House, then there's also another league, and there's possible regulation and different things going on. So it was a pretty exciting year for sure to be a part of it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so my thoughts on the season is, as a commissioner, is like, oh my gosh, the playoffs are finally here. I know we started back in the beginning of August, season 2, and we got off to a hot start. We got like half our games done like within like the first month, and maybe like the first 5 or 6 weeks or so. So I thought we were on a pretty good schedule, but then fatigue started setting in, and what I didn't take account for is how kind of like heavily stressful these games are, because you're playing against guys that not only you played against in the past before, but are really good players. Like these are, I don't want to sound like we're tooting our own horn here, but there's a lot of good players in this league. It's a lot of back and forth.
I've lost sleep over some of my matches. I mean, I'll wake up and go, oh my gosh, what was I doing? Or, oh my gosh, I should have done this or that. And, when you play the same person over and over again, you think, okay, I did this and it worked. He'll know that I'm going to do this, so I have to do something else. But I can't do that, because, you start talking to yourself, and I know. I mean,
someone like, more specifically, someone like Rick Whitmar and Suraj Thomas, they both kind of had a slower start to the season, lost a lot of their games at the beginning, but near the end of the season, they're racking up wins. And I mean, no offense to those guys, but obviously I lost to both those guys down the stretch in the season. And those are games where I thought I was gonna win. No offense to those guys. I'm confident in myself that way. So losing to both those guys was definitely a wake up call to me. Like, oh man, this league is like the NFL, where any team, any player could be any player at any game. It just depends on how the game starts. The starting points of these games are key.
And the character, like the choices of the opponents, and you don't know who you're going to be. I know have had matches where I had one match where I was the stone versus the stone. I ironically, you can only be so many candidates so many times, and I was like winless as an Obama,
Yeah.
and there's like these no Obama rules. I did really well with other candidates, so it's tough. You're right. People put stress on themselves. At the end of the day, I know as commissioner, you are appreciative of everyone who's played
Yeah.
and who has gutted it out because life,
Yeah.
personal things come ahead of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know people made a commitment to finish this, and we're glad that we can wrap up season 2 strong.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I always tell you guys, I always say real life is first. If something comes up, no worries. If there's a deadline and something comes up, you guys can't play, reach out to me. It's all good. Like, there's no like hard deadlines, but that's definitely something I'm going to work on. We're going to work on moving down to season 3 is something a little more structured and something a little bit more, we could tell the players, listen, like, I think like if you're going to join, this league's going to be a priority compared to all the other 270 stuff too. So the deadlines maybe be a little harder and try to be a little more structured to get through the season. So the season doesn't drag out like season 2 did. Also, I just like to get the seasons a little bit more punctuated too, because there's a lot of players who want to join the RHL. I know we have 2 leagues, the RHL White House and its sister league, the RHL Congress. And at the end of the season, the bottom 4 of the White House get relegated to the Congress, and the top 4 of the Congress get promoted to the White House for the next season. So, Chad posts about it a lot. Chad is the commissioner of the RHL Congress. I post about the RHL White House a lot. And so you get a lot of these people who are like casual viewers of the lounge, like, oh, like what's the RHL? A lot of it is the presentation. We have the website that we'll throw up in here in a little bit. Also, it's that we know that we have the best players in the lounge, in the league, and it's just by name recognition alone.
For sure. I know it's,
I definitely want to get the seasons, I just really want to get the seasons more tidy up. So that way we could get more the people who want to join in. I know there's lots of people who are very interested in joining, and I'm interested in having them because they're great players, they're great guys, and they're going to be good for the lounge and the league.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Do you want to give a quick shout out to anyone who's been promoted?
Yeah, I know Joshua Fisher has been promoted. He won his promotion through the playoffs. And also, oh man, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. Let me see.
That's okay. While you're looking for that, I will stress that if you are interested in joining the RHL and you have not yet, you can reach out to Javier. You can also reach out to Chad Harris. I know it's not required that you like have a face-to-face interaction, but we do really appreciate knowing that you are a real person. I know that sounds a little bit goofy, but we don't want there to be any kind of interference.
There's been some problems in the past where people were using 2 accounts in player ran leagues. It wasn't just the tournament games that ran by the game, but people were using different accounts and playing as different Facebook profiles in different leagues, and also in the same league too. So we don't want that. The people. Something that we both learned going down the stretch of the end of the season is that these games are high stressful, high emotion, and so you don't want somebody having 2 accounts in the same league and cheating the system that way too, because there's a lot of people who really do care about what happens, and they put a lot of time and effort, and their pride is on the line too. I mean, I know we're not getting paid or anything, but it feels like getting close to professional status where people are like getting mad at each other or getting mad at themselves, upset. Like you said, you lost sleep over it. Like,
And I know, and that's a character flaw for me, but at the end of the day, it is a game. However, you can be frustrated. There's take a day, take an hour, and remember at the end of the day, we're all people, and people that you are competitors with now, you may be on a team in a team tournament later on. Don't jeopardize relationships or anything, but take that time if you need it. But we want to talk about more of a happy thing, because the RHL really has been a super blast for me. I've got to meet lots of people. There are some players out there who I didn't even know were that good and have been able to help me in my own game. Yeah. And ultimately, the season long their points being accumulated, and I started off really hot. I kind of tatered up, kind of fell off toward the end, losing to Adam and Troy and some really good players, Eric. But ultimately, we had a character draft where candidate draft where the tournament is being played by one candidate throughout the duration of the tournament. And there is a multiplayer round. I'm surprised no one took like a Kellyanne Conway. I know Siraj took Bill de Blasio.
Yeah. Siraj is pretty good. Bill de Blasio 1v1. I'll throw up the candidates up right now, but also real quick, shout out obviously to Joshua Fisher for winning his promotion. Also David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson.
Both of them swept their way through to promotions in the RHL Congress. The second round, it's called the election round, where it's 8 players left. The winners of those 3-game series, there's going to be 4 winners. Those 4 winners get promoted to the White House. So Joshua Fisher won, Dave Robinson won. Sorry, David, I keep messing up the name there. I know you and Rick were talking about it on your stream before. I learned how to say Rick's last name, Whitmar, but I still having trouble with Dave's last name. Sorry about that. It's just I'm really used to saying Robinson, I think, but not the N being there kind of throws me off. But it's a little side note there. Let me throw up the candidate draft here. Let me screen share.
Yeah. And I know I had a tough decision. I was debating on taking FDR, but I play against Adam Montgomery in the first round, and that did influence my decision quite a bit. I was really honestly hoping to get I did not think Tim Ryan would go first overall. But that's great. Troy's a great player. He's a great Tim Ryan. He'll be tough to beat.
Tim Ryan's sneaky good. He got that 30% swing and then that big manufacturing. And he has Old South bonus too.
Yeah, so I am not looking forward to playing Frederick Douglass myself. That sucks.
So this is the way the draft works is there's two conferences. The conferences are combined for the draft, and then it goes based on points. So Troy Moore had the most points. He won the President's Cup of the RHL, if you will, with the most points in the season. And so he gets first pick, and then Adam Montgomery, gets his second pick, and then obviously it goes down. So, so Frederick Douglass, Adam Montgomery loves that manufacturing bonus. And also he's been learning that AA bonus too. So Frederick Douglass is scary if he gets one of those 2 bonuses. Because if he gets manufacturing, it's still like over 100, right?
It's 105 or something.
105, yeah. And then if he gets African American, it's 140. So it's like you could decide to block African American, but then he could just pivot to manufacturing and still get a big bonus. So that's very tough. Sapun, he likes Ron DeSantis, that big swing. Tossin S. Lake won last season as the Stone, and he picked the Stone again. So Tossin is very dangerous as a Stone. Someone I'm going to play against in the first round. Other notables, George Fry picks his Trump 2020. I know there was a bit of joking going on because he kind of took a little bit to reply. There's no time limit in the draft, but the vultures were starting to come out, and they're like, we all know George's going to pick Trump 2020. So I think you had the best odds on that. I think George minus 500 for Trump 2020.
It was pretty, Well, the only other, so I was thinking that he might pull an Abraham Lincoln, but I didn't think so. And Crooked Hillary and Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were not eligible, and he likes to play as Crooked Hillary also.
So I decided to go Biden 2020. I like his stats. I feel like definitely more than one spot you could start in, and I like having that diverse option as a candidate, especially with you play somebody who has strong strength someplace. You're able to pivot or manipulate part of the game. So that's why I like Biden 2020. Definitely, I wonder if he's going to get a update though pretty soon. That'd be pretty interesting if he gets a bonus boost.
Yeah, I'm actually working. I'm working on a video for that to go over candidates that should change.
Yeah, and I saw that in your post, the post you made, where it's like, the videos coming up this week, and I like those posts when you do like those what's upcoming.
Yeah, that plus it builds the anticipation. Plus, it makes me stick to like what I'm going to do. Like I can't go, oh, I'll do that next week. No, I told them I was going to do it this week. So,
Yeah, exactly.
But no, and honestly, Biden's one. Trump might change. I highly doubt Trump changes in real, like just because.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good where he's at. I think it's pretty good.
But I tell you who spoiler alert, who I think might get changed. Maybe not. But I think you could make an argument is Stacey Abrams. I think Stacey Abrams, her stats could go up.
You think her Old South bonus would go up?
I think that
Or her national groups?
I think that you'll have to tune into the video to find out.
Hey, there we go. Plug it in. I love it. Let's keep going down here in a second. Bart as Abe Lincoln. I've never really seen Bart play as Abe Lincoln.
I haven't either. I'm really surprised. I thought he would go. I mean, Tim Ryan is like his bread and butter, which he's obviously gone. But yeah, no, that'll be really interesting. And actually, spoiler alert, there are predictions coming, but more than one person predicted Bart to lose in the first round. Which
wow. These predictions went through they did the whole playoffs.
There were some people who I left it. We have a group chat for our RHL in Messenger, and I asked people if they wanted to send me a private message. It would be either anonymous or if they wanted me to be public. And I got 8 predictions, and about 5 of them were just like this person will win over this person, but 3 people went like this round, this will happen, and like they were so in depth that I was like,
that.
wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that type of like when people are into it that much and people, they make those in-depth predictions and they think about it. Like kind of just like how they would approach it too. I like all the buzz coming along with this postseason coming up. I know moving down the list still, I want to give all these guys credit. So Jason Casey, Santa Claus, Santa Claus is a very versatile candidate. Obviously, he has the 15% all the way down. So if you're wondering why wouldn't Jason pick Michelle Obama, is because in this season 1, and we kind of carried it to the beginning of season 2, something that might change is that we do not allow the Obamas or Crooked Hillary in the playoffs. It's something that's kind of like a consensus thing. It's like more of a consensus thing for the league. Most of the people, they feel the Obamas are overpowered and Crooked Hillary is overpowered. So they don't want that having to be the factor in a playoff game. So completely understandable. That's something that's also I'm open to change every single year from season to season. So, but this season, no Obama, no Crooked Hillary. So that's why Jason picks Santa Claus. So he's still good with Santa Claus. He's definitely won games with it. I've definitely seen him win games with it. So Jason Casey, always got to look out for him. Going down to you, Brendan Borman. I know you called out for Carson while we were waiting for Jason.
I was playing. So I had a busy weekend. I played hockey, I played basketball, and I played golf this weekend. It's like 70 something degrees in.
Are you sore? Like, are you
I turned 29 a couple days ago, and I can't feel my back. So it was a blast. But I was sitting around. I think we were waiting on George Fry to make his pick, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be around my phone for 4 hours. So if this person's here, I'll take him. If not, because I was guaranteed to get one of the people. And honestly, if I was the number 1 pick, I don't even know who I would have picked, to be completely honest. So I'm fine with Ben Carson. I don't think Ben Carson is the best candidate. I hope thoughts and prayers to Ben Carson. He did test positive for COVID today in real life, so get well. But he's a versatile candidate, especially for the start. And when I have to play Adam Montgomery with the Frederick Douglass, with the possible African-American, possible swing manufacturing, I just kind of had to play a little bit of defense and kind of hope I get lucky. Adam's a great guy. I wish he'd stop joining every tournament I join because he makes me look bad. But that brings us to Eric York, one of the up-and-comers in the lounge.
Yeah, definitely having a good little run here. He's in that multiplayer game with JFK. JFK definitely a good one-on-one candidate. I'm not sure about his multiplayer prowess though, but definitely
Yeah, I
interested.
think it gives him a little bit of flexibility. He's going to have to avoid conflict, and he's not going to probably be able to go national groups. If he does, it's not a huge bonus. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Eric's in a tough spot with the multiplayer, but if he can survive, I expect him to create some fireworks in the postseason for sure.
Yeah. Joshua Neptune picked Ross Perot. It's kind of like the only two people I've seen play as Ross Perot like consistently is Josh Neptune and Richard Outfield, the MLL commissioner. But yeah, definitely Ross Perot is kind of a more shocking pick, but he definitely has good candidates to work out of California from, or even Texas New York combo too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
all these candidates, it's murderers row, and then you got Ross Perot.
yeah. And then we got Jeff Ray, third winningest all time. I think him and Sapun go back and forth between third and fourth last couple of weeks here. But he picked FDR. Very interesting to pick. Jeff Ray, very interesting that FDR fell so low, because FDR would probably consider one of the better candidates maybe a few months back, but maybe that has changed with the addition of some new candidates as well. Jeff Ray, very good player. I always got to look out for him. Barely got past him in my division to win the division. So.
Yep. Then we got Larete Costa coming into 13 with Joe Jorgensen. Of course, Larete likes to work out of New York, has a candidate that is pretty versatile.
Yeah.
I don't know. That high-tech bonus is going to be so crucial. And that oftentimes it is when you're playing against Larete. He is in a multiplayer match, so he's not quite into the field just yet. But
Siraj, he's also in the multiplayer match. He picked Bill de Blasio, big national group bonus. Siraj, very dangerous with that Bill de Blasio national group move. He's beating people in 4-player, and he's beating people in one-on-one using that national group bonus, using that national group strategy. So definitely somebody you got to look out for too.
Do you think that
had a strong start to end the season also?
Do you think that someone goes labor environment to contest?
No way. I mean, with one game, it's one and done. It's like you don't want to risk having to.
I'll be
you for sure set Siraj back, but it's like you are damning yourself too.
I'll be completely honest. If it were me, I would. I just to get my troll level high, and I know, and I say that somewhat, jokingly, but I think I honestly it would set him back. It would make the other two players kind of attack each other and make it a 2 versus 2. And really, in a multiplayer, a 4-person game is balanced. If you can isolate it that way, you are less likely to have one person just kind of take over the map.
Yeah.
And so while it would set you two back versus those two, it's a risk. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not letting Bill de Blasio have his bonus. That's like letting RBG have her women's movement.
Siraj might have some choice words for you, and after he watches this, but we'll see. Rounding it up here, we got Tyler Demora, my partner in crime, streaming partner in crime. He picked Tulsi Gabbard. I know it's someone he's been playing as a lot recently, and Tulsi is also very versatile too. Not very many penalties,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of 10, 15%, 20% bonuses. Someone who also doesn't have an Old South bonus. So I know you and Rick just talked about Democratic strategy. My little two cents about it is any Democrat with no Old South minus is really good candidate.
Yeah, no, she is underrated for sure.
She's like a JFK.
Yeah, one of the people that you don't see very often. But no, and shout to Tyler. He actually handed me an RHL loss also, and I never felt like I was behind the entire match. It was a really, that can happen when you've got someone like a well-rounded candidate, and there's not one bonus like an Obama or something where it's 150 African American, where I wouldn't say you get complacent, but you're like, okay, I'll let them have Latino, I'll get manufacturing, I'll let them have this, I'll get that, and then all of a sudden it's a ballot round, and you get 5 bonuses, and you got to guess. So
yeah,
Tyler's gotten so much better, and I'm looking forward to see what he does in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, definitely. One of the players like Suraj who could win a multiplayer and win a 1 versus 1 too. So definitely look out for him.
I think
Wrapping
you
it
can
up.
say that about Dylan also, the next guy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Wrapping his list up here, Dylan Hales, pick Kanye West. He's also one of those good players who's really good at multiplayers and one-on-ones also. Kanye West, I'm trying to remember. I know he has an Old South bonus, something that Dylan Hales likes working out of too. So definitely a good player to look out for. Let's check out the bracket real fast here.
Yeah.
So we could have some context here. Can you see the bracket now?
I can, yes. So
Okay.
it looks like in tonight's matchup is the Eric York, Neptune, Larete, Dylan Hales, right?
Correct. So tonight is this 4-player matchup right here, the Founders Wildcard Showdown. Shout out to Jason Casey for coming up with the name. The name of the round, I mean. We have Eric York facing off against Joshua Neptune. Eric York is JFK, Joshua Neptune, Ross Perot, Learte Costa, Joe Jurgensen, and Dylan Hales. Kanye, definitely good. All 4 great players, and it's a shame. I mean, that's one thing about this league is like it's like a shame that we have so many good players in these 4-player games. But it's like when you look at you guys who are in the divisional series already, Troy, you, Adam, George, is like, man, it's tough getting up there. And that's one thing I wanted to put an emphasis on, winning the division. That's why it's kind of this structured kind of like more like playoffs. But I also wanted to give players a reason to fight and a chance to make the playoffs. You know, not to give up halfway through the season when they know they're not going to win the division or something. That they still have a shot at, being involved in the playoffs. And these 4-player matches, I think, are perfect for that. Gives that sense of, I still got a shot, but also it's a tough, steep hill to climb. Yeah, what are your thoughts about these 4-player matches at the end over here?
No, I like the idea, love the concept. I just would have a hard time, nothing against the players, but man, they're going to have a tough hill. I mean, if you're looking at the red side, you got to play George Fry, like
the wild card, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I historically have underperformed against George. He's a great player, but like on the other side, personally, I'd much rather play Bart. But that's not a shot at Bart. It's just I just have had better luck against him. They're both the same. But like on the red side, then you got to play Troy. Troy is one of the hottest players if you even get through George. And on the
so it's like, these 4-player, you had to win a 4-player game. And if that's not tough enough, you got to beat George Fry, and then you got to beat Troy Moore, and then you are Adam. So definitely the pathway going from the people in the showdown to the World Series, RHL World Series, is definitely tough.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any predictions tonight for the?
I'm gonna go ahead and hold my predictions because I'm gonna be commentating that. By the time someone's watching this, they might the playoffs might have already. This match probably have already started. So we could just say congratulations and then blah, and then you can put that in a post, Dan. But we'll add that in post.
Yeah, well, just to give you the live odds before we go into it.
Yeah.
So we had Eric York as the slight favorite. He was, I believe it was plus 125. And then I had Neptune and Learte Costa coming in. They're both the same odds at plus, I believe it was 135 or 140 was close. And then Dylan Hales was the underdog, but at plus 150. And we've received some heavy action on Dylan Hales so far.
Yeah. I think whoever was the biggest underdog was going to get probably the most votes, biggest bang for your buck type of thing. Because any of these guys could win this match. I'm excited to stream this match tonight for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
For sure.
Peeking over though on the Reformer side, you got to see a close look at the Founders Conference, but now on the Reformers Conference in the 4-player match, we have Jason Casey versus Jeff Ray versus Suraj versus Tyler Demora. So these players, look at the name in these 4-player game match too. It's just like, whoa, like how are you get past that 4-player match and then you got to play Bart and then you play Sapun and then you either toss it or myself. So that's another route that's pretty steep climb too. But the thing is, all these guys, I mean, I know Siraj, Tyler, Jeff, and Jason have all beaten Sapun. They've all beaten Bart before. So it's like, it's winnable for them.
For sure.
Same, just the same as it's winnable for the guys on the other side too. It's just and I think Tossin, he commented on the playoff post on the lounge, and it was very accurate. He was saying something like, whoever's going to win is pretty much who's ever on their game that day, whoever, you know, picked up that momentum before the playoffs and able to carry it through all the way to the end. And I think Tossin's right there. It's almost like you get a feel like NHL Stanley Cup playoffs here, where it's like the hot hand's going to continue to go on.
And so many of these matches are like one pip early on that gives someone just the slightest advantage, and then just it snowballs. I know that's, you know, and with any of these players, that can definitely happen. So when's that match?
That we're working on that one. I'm looking on Tuesday night. Hopefully, I know Jeff and Siraj have said they're making it. Just hopefully Jason and Tyler could get
awesome. Well, hot off the press here, we got some live odds. So Jeff Ray is coming in as a co-favorite. So we got Jeff Ray as FDR at -130, tied with Siraj Thomas at -130. Tyler DeMora coming in at 140, and then Jason Casey as the underdog, which is like never the case. But he's coming in at so I have to say plus 150. So, you know, it'd be interesting, like how FDR fits in with Santa Claus and Bill de Blasio and Tulsi. Look at that dynamic. So
I definitely have knowing these players, I have an idea of how they're gonna, you know, these 4-player games are gonna play out, but I don't want to, you know, give out the strategies and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. No, I'm as a fan, I'm excited to watch. Yeah. And as I can call all of them friends, also I wish them good luck, but I also don't want to wish them. I don't want to put too much stress on them for sure. Yeah. So
let's go through. I know you got to go here in a minute, so let's go through some of these predictions here.
Yes. So overall, I received 8 total predictions. Okay. And that's not even including my own, which I'll give as well. But there were 5 different people when surveyed who they thought would win the whole thing. And, you know, it is an advantage, you know, like you said, the structure of it to be a division winner.
Yeah.
But 3 people were behind Troy Moore. He was by far the most supported player to win. He's in the Founders Conference, and he will face the winner of the wild card and George Fry. So he just has to get past, you know, three rounds.
Yeah.
We also had one person pick Sapun, and one person pick George Fry. So that George versus Troy match, if it does come to fruition, will be mighty tasty to watch on a live stream.
Yeah.
The defending champion, Tossin Lake, getting some respect. 2 people did pick Tossin, including Adam Montgomery, who backed the defending champion. But Adam himself, who I will play, one person did peg Adam to win the championship. Fighting his strong performances and big.
So you got some bulletin board material then. No one picked us, huh?
No one picked Brendan Borman, and I didn't see any Javier Rodriguez. I saw actually Javier doesn't stand a chance against Tossin Lake. So I made that last part up, but but no, it's super exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And you know, you put a lot of work into this website, and you know, keeping up with the matches and the rule book. And so for all the prospective players out there, you know, take a look at this website, you know, get a little bit of taste of it. And, you know, we want to see you guys in season 3, but we have some unfinished business in season 2.
Yes. Definitely can't wait. Trying to get as many of these playoff games streamed as possible. These are great matches. They're going to be awesome to see. I'm excited to see who's going to take it off. If Tossin could defend his championship, or if we get a new one here, maybe one of you expansion players could win it too. So definitely just interested to see how this plays here, and definitely be interested in having, you know, when we get to the RHL World Series, we get to do a little recap of what happened in the postseason or something like that.
That'd be cool for sure. Well, I appreciate you hopping on and talking the RHL. You were always welcome, as you know, and we will be talking in the live stream. See you guys in the Facebook lounge. Remember to be nice to people. You know, this is trying times with, you know, the election. We're all one country. You know, there are lots of people who play the game who aren't even from the United States. First and foremost, we're people, and enjoy 270. And until next time, I'm Brendan Borman, and that's
Javier Rodriguez. Deuces, juices.
Oi, oi, oi. See you later.